I'm going to get extra time too, I hope. I'm Jonathan Mann, and I've lived in Santa Monica more than any other place in the world. I've lived in Africa and Europe, but Santa Monica is my home. I've lived here in Venice. I'm proud to say, unlike some presidential candidates, I'm proud to say that I'm a socialist. I want to see Santa Monica be returned to what it was before it was small, progressive, I miss those days, and I want to return to it. One of the ways that I want to do it is I want to take that money. It belongs to us. We live in a kleptocracy, and this city has over $500 million in taxes. I want to give that to you. I don't want to give it to anybody else but you. I don't want to give it to the city employees and give them raises like all the incumbents have done. I want to return that money to the residents. Free buses. I'm just starting. Free Wi-Fi, link to the website so we can have discussions online. I want to have free parking permits for everybody that lives here and not for businesses. No preferential parking for businesses.
Thanks, John.
Anymore.
Thank you. John, time's up.
Closed. Jerry forgot to mention that I was a tree saver as well. I see a lot of tree savers out here and a lot of yes on T people here. And Jerry is not yes on tree, just so you know that. I support the other tree savers, of course. I want you to know that Genzer, Bloom, and
Thanks, I needed that.
Three but they're all opposing tea. So definitely keep that in mind when you punch your ballot.
Thanks, John.
Well, I used to live in a rent-control apartment, and now I'm paying a huge amount of rent for less than 500 square feet. And I don't have an income right now. I've recently lost my job, so I would like to have some low-income housing in the city. But what's happening with vacancy control is our population is changing. And what we have to do to bring more affordable housing is we have to stop the kind of development that is running people out of town and start the kind of development that provides housing for low-income people. I absolutely believe in term limits, incumbents.
Thank you. Ted?
If a particular person has a really good rap, I'll give them all my cans and bottles. Otherwise, I don't believe in enabling. I was my brother's keeper for 40 years, and he really knows how to work the system. What I think we should do, though, in this city, instead of fostering dependency, is provide jobs for the homeless instead of the people that serve the homeless. We've got an enormous budget, and we could raise even more money by cutting all the waste and the administrative salaries in our cities and use that savings to give jobs to the homeless to clean up the city. It smells like a sewer.
Thanks, John.
I guess tobacco's okay. Pot definitely is.
Ted?
But a fine for littering. Well, of course, I'm yes on tea, and those of you that have been receiving my emails know how I stand on all the other ones, definitely know. I believe that we've already paid enough taxes. We have so much revenue in this city. Instead of raising taxes, we need to lower them, and we need to get the taxes back to the people. And there's several ways to do that, by cutting all the waste out and by firing a lot of people in administrative positions that we don't need, and hiring more people like the homeless so they can get some of our wealth and work for it like everybody else.
Thank
I firmly believe that we have to change our priorities in this city. We've already reached maxed out on density in the city. It's 80-some thousand people live here on 8.6 miles. So it's got to stop. We don't need smart growth or slow growth. What we need in this city is no growth. If there's any growth at all that's going to be built in the future, it's got to be low-income housing. We need to close the airport down, put in a park, have some low-income housing in there. Things like that are okay. But we've got to stop all these businesses and tourism and everything else that just brings in traffic.
Thanks, John.
Out of control.
Thank you.
I'm against preferential parking for businesses. Businesses should pay for their employees to park. They shouldn't get any preferential treatment from the city. If you're a resident of this city, you should be able to park anywhere you want if you work here. So I would make that exclusion for people who live and work here. However, what I would like to see happen, I'd like to see the buses free for everybody. You don't have to live here, you don't have to work here, it just would alleviate the traffic. If we can afford it, we need to have more buses. We also, I think, the city should subsidize wholesale bicycles for anybody to buy a bike for wholesale so they can get around town. There's a reason why we call it Stinky Lincoln. But, you know, I'm kind of weary of questions about traffic. I think we covered it pretty well. I would like to talk a little bit about the airport. And
This isn't really about traffic, it's about Lincoln Boulevard.
It's related to traffic, and a lot of the questions have been. But, you know, there's not too much we can do about our part of Lincoln, because it's not just the Lincoln and Boulevard in Santa Monica. It extends out quite a distance. So, but I do like President.
Thank you. Thanks.
I want to have a public forum on the city website so everybody can have a 24/7 discussion on.
So does that mean a tree commission?
Public discussion on the city website. Well, you know, I'm a big fan of the ocean. I've always lived next to the ocean. I'm a half a block from the ocean right now, and I love to body surf. I'm afraid to take my son in the water, especially if there's been a storm. I think it's scandalous that the city council allowed this to occur. And it's not just our beaches. If you walk around the city, there's certain areas that there's just a stench. I know right in the parking lot 11 across the street from me, close to Ocean Park Boulevard, you walk by there and the smell will knock you over. This city has to be cleaned up. We should hire the homeless to do that. Well, we have one of the highest.
Yes or no, sorry.
Highest paid fire departments. in
Yes
the
or no?
country. So I definitely think we can handle the job. 9, nay, nunca, yet. I don't take money from anybody, actually, and I think that's a conflict of interest to accept money. I'm here to represent only the people who live in this city. And I think it's a kind of coincidence that the people who do take the most money from developers are also the ones that are opposing T. So there's a reason for that. And there's a lot of money that's, and it's not just money, it's endorsements from the city employees that determines who gets elected in the city, and that's a huge conflict of interest too.
Thank you, John.
Free buses, free parking, free Wi-Fi, accountability for city council members, term limits, clean money. I believe in every issue. I have a stand homelessness. I've made my position clear. But the reason that I emphasize using the electronic interface is because I want everybody in this city who wants to have a voice in determining municipal policy to be able to go online for free with a link to the city website with forums on all of these issues, not just free Wi-Fi. That's just the means to get to participatory grassroots democracy. I want to give the residents a voice. We have a lot of people in this city who don't have time to go to city council meetings for 2 minutes and speak, but you can go online and speak for as long as you want.
Now, you mentioned free bus rides, but